Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Shine Bright Wellbeing podcast. Today, I wanted to speak to you all about the Gemini full moon, the last of 2022. So, quite an intense one. Not as intense as the blood moon eclipse that we just had. That was pretty strong, but still lots of really charged, fiery energy around. The Gemini full moon falls on the 7th of December, so tomorrow. And it falls, of course, in the sign of Gemini, as I said. So Gemini representing the twins. Now, under this full moon, we're really going to be invited to look at the balance that we have within our life. So balancing those twins within us. And when we speak of the twins within us, we're speaking of our human side and our soul side. And so there's two sides of us. And sometimes they can find it challenging to really understand each other. So our human side tends to really favor food and shelter. It wants to be healed. It wants stability and safety. It wants to feel secure. Whereas our soul side, it knows that it's already healed. It knows that everything is temporary within life. It has that real air of just knowing, that intuition, if you like, that we often speak of. And our soul side really craves to just bring joy into our life. It craves to experience all emotions, and it knows that really there is only love. And so sometimes those two sides can clash a little bit. We can find ourselves a little bit off balance, and we can, as I said, the human side and the soul side can find it hard to understand each other. And so under this full moon, under this Gemini full moon, the full moon of the twins, and we're really being asked just to find that balance where we can within our lives, within the human side and our soul side. We also have Mars, a very high energy around Mars at the moment under this full moon as it's in retrograde. Yay, we love retrograde planets. No, it's good. And we have Neptune as well, which has quite energy. So Mars being in retrograde, Mars is the planet of motivation. It's a planet of energy. It's a planet of action. So sometimes when it's in retrograde, retrograde basically just means that a planet has almost kind of stopped moving. So it appears like it's almost kind of going backwards. So that can happen with our energy as well. So energy around motivation, around energy, and around action can feel like it's almost just taken a bit of a back burner. It's really slowing down. So you might find that you feel quite unmotivated. You feel like you've got quite low energy. Any action that you're wanting to take might just be quite challenging just to kind of get up and do it. And that's a lot to do with Mars retrograde, okay? But it's beautiful at the same time because it is teaching us and asking us to just slow down, to honor where we're putting our energy. So we've spoken a lot over the last few months about where we place our energy, where we're putting our energy, who we're giving our energy to, and really protecting our own energy. Really important to protect our energy. And this Gemini full moon, this Mars retrograde, is asking us to do exactly the same. So if you're feeling like you have quite low energy, low motivation, like your motivation to take action is quite low, really set those boundaries for yourself. Where are you placing that energy that you do have? What's important to you? If you're feeling unmotivated, what are those small things, or those things that are most significant to you? Okay, so really be conscious of where you're placing your energy, where you're putting it. Our energy is so precious, so precious. And sometimes we don't honor it enough. And again, as always, that's, there's no judgment, there's no right, there's no wrong there, but it's just being aware of where you may be placing your energy right now, particularly as we're coming up to Christmas jumper on today, guys. Particularly as we're coming up to Christmas, we can feel like we're just trying to do it all. We're trying to get everything done. We're trying to have that, perfect Christmas and trying to get everything done. And we can be struggling as well with our own emotions. For some people, Christmas isn't a time of joy. It isn't a time of happiness. For some people, it's a real emotional struggle. For some people, it's reminders of family struggles, of things that are going on within their life, things that may have happened, grief that may have happened around the Christmas period. So people can get really highly emotional around this Christmas period. It means something different to everyone. Some people absolutely love it and they're, living their best lives around Christmas. Other people really, really struggle. Some people are alone and don't have anyone, so all of those feelings kind of come up as well. So lots going on, going off tangent a little bit, but yeah, basically just really honor the boundaries that you've set within your life and where you're placing your energy, and really bring that into practice if it's something that you have been following and working on over the last few months, over most of this year. Really, we've been asked to really honor that. Then take that time to really sit and where are you placing your energy. Get to know, like, who are you, what do you stand for, where are you placing your energy, what's important to you. And always allow your heart to guide you on this. And of course, it's beautiful full moon, and it's Mars retrograde. Mars sometimes as well, as I said, emotions can be high around this time of year anyway. Mars can really unsettle emotions sometimes. So you may feel a little bit out of balance emotionally, and of course the full moon does that too. The full moon can just bring some emotions up, can stir them up, can really force us to feel. So this full moon may be an emotional one for you. So again, just sit with yourself when you can, sit in stillness, in meditation, and you just have a few moments. Just take a moment just to honor how you feel, to just ask yourself, how do I feel? And to listen to the answers that come, to listen to the feelings that come, particularly honoring any challenging emotions. So around Mars retrograde, around the stirring up of emotions, sometimes we can feel those more challenging emotions. We can feel anger and frustration. I know for me, a few days ago, I was walking with the kids and I felt so frustrated. I don't know why. I was just frustrated with everything. I just didn't feel settled. I felt really unbalanced, felt really frustrated. Everything was kind of triggering me. And I looked up and I was like, there's the moon, it's almost full. Yay. So I knew that there was some energy coming. I knew that there was things stirring. I knew that there was some stuff inside of me that perhaps I needed to just sit with. And particularly with this moon, we're being asked to just honor those emotions, honor our human side, honor that we feel all emotions. Okay, all emotions are equal. We often favor the emotions of joy, of happiness, of the ones that really lift us and make us feel good. We don't often honor those emotions. We don't often want to feel those emotions that challenge us, the anger, the frustration, the ones that don't make us feel good. But they're just as important. They're all there for a reason. They're all there to be felt. And our soul knows that. Our soul knows that we're here to experience a whole range of emotions. Okay, so where you can, honor your emotions, honor how you're feeling. If you're feeling particularly angry, particularly frustrated, allow yourself that space to feel. You may find under this full moon, there's a lot of energy around expressing as well. So you may find that if you've been having particular problems with someone, or there's been particular challenges within your life, you may find that you just feel really called to express your emotion, to express how you're feeling, to express your anger, to express your frustration, and particularly if it's around a situation. And so, of course, where you can, do that with love. But sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just have that little volcano inside us that just, we've had too much and we erupt. We're human. We all do it, okay? It's okay. Give yourself that grace, all right? If you do express in a way that perhaps later on you feel a little bit ashamed of, or perhaps you regret, again, express yourself to that situation, to that person. Apologize where you feel called to, but don't apologize for the boundaries that you felt that you needed to express. Okay, sometimes we can express things with all of the love in our heart, but people aren't ready to accept those boundaries or honor those boundaries. People don't perhaps understand them or believe in them, and that's their journey. That's their journey to work through and to learn. What's important for yourself is that you really set those boundaries and you're true to them, and they're coming from a place of love. They're coming from your heart. So again, something that we've worked on a lot throughout the year, but where you can, really sit with that, really sit with the boundaries you've placed within your life, and where perhaps you can express with love if you can, but if you can't, that's fine. really give yourself that grace, and know that you are human. We all make mistakes. We all have things that we regret or we feel ashamed of, we wish we'd handled in a different way. We all have that. That's okay. Try not to hang on to that guilt. Forgive yourself. And then where you can, try to make it right. Try to express apologies and love wherever you can. Okay, but that doesn't mean going back on your boundaries. That doesn't mean giving in and going back on who you are and the things that you stand for. So really important that we're strong in those things, particularly to protect our energy, and particularly around this time of year where perhaps you're connecting with people you haven't seen for a while. The whole families are kind of coming together. It can cause some tension sometimes. So yeah, be true to yourself and honor those boundaries. Neptune, as I said, Neptune is quite active this month as well under this full moon, and Neptune is the planet of intuition. So you may find that things that perhaps you have intuitively known, you've known within yourself for a little while, just start to reaffirm. So things just start to reaffirm that what you knew was actually correct. Okay, so if there's something, little niggles, that intuition, things that you've kind of been feeling but perhaps haven't acted upon, or perhaps have just tried to brush away, you might start to get some signs, you might start to get some big things happen that just confirm those intuitive feelings. Okay, so under that Neptune energy, we're just really being asked to trust. Trust your feelings, trust your intuition, allow it to lead where you can, trust your instinct. And again, connect that to your boundaries. Where something isn't feeling right, where your instinct is really kicking in, your intuition is saying, no, like this shouldn't be happening, or I'm not comfortable with this, or something, needs to change here. Trust that. Step into yourself, have the courage to set those boundaries for yourself in a loving way where you can, okay? But forgive yourself if that doesn't come across in a loving way, or if perhaps someone doesn't take it in the way that you would like, or the way that you hoped for. That's okay too. Still stand strong in those boundaries. Again, that's for them to work through, okay? The only thing you can do is just control your love and your heart and the things that you really honor. And when you're true to that, we find that balance just all starts to come in when you're true to your heart, true to who you are. So really stay true to that. Stay true to who you are. Yeah, emotions may be high, so just take some time, sit with your emotions, feel them, see what's there. Allow yourself to release whatever you've been carrying, whatever you might not need anymore. List emotions if that helps you. Sometimes it's nice just to say them out loud, list them in your head, write them down. Beautiful time to do releasing rituals, so writing down all of the things, all of the emotions, all of the boundaries that perhaps you haven't been quite strong on. Write everything down, write everything that you want to bring in, everything that you want to release, and then spend some time releasing them and welcoming in the boundaries that you need to set, releasing perhaps people's opinions on those boundaries if that becomes an issue for you. So take some time if you can under this moon energy, this last moon of 2022, releasing what you need for that beautiful fresh start in 2023. Crystals under our full moon this month. So this month, the crystals that I felt called to, and I've created a beautiful crystal grid whilst doing this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to obviously see that. We have rose quartz. So rose quartz in the center of our crystal grid today. Rose quartz is one, as many of you will know, I just absolutely love. It connects us to our heart. Connects us to our heart space. It's gentle, it's feminine, it's just beautiful, loving energy. Okay, so the center of our grid, because we're centering ourselves around love, even when those emotions are high, we're bringing ourselves back to love. We're forgiving ourselves. That's all part of love. We're setting the boundaries for ourselves out of love. Okay, and doing it with love. So everything is centered around love. Even if you're feeling really challenged, try to come back to that space of love where you can. And if that's something that you're struggling with, if you're struggling to love yourself, to forgive yourself, or to express yourself with love, rose quartz might be a really beautiful crystal just to have near you. You can hold it, you can place it in your bag, carry it around with you, placing it by your bed. Bedside's really beautiful. Around the home, if there's challenges within the home, really use your intuition. When it comes to crystals, people often ask, well, how do I use them? For me personally, it's all about just allowing your intuition to guide. So if I put something somewhere and it doesn't feel right, I move it. I put it somewhere where it feels right for me, or where I feel like I want to carry it or place it. Sometimes we can say, oh, this crystal's for this, this, and this. But if it doesn't feel right to you, don't use it. Use what works for you, okay? These are always just guidance, but really just trust your intuition where you can, and you know what you need, what you feel, how to use things. You have it all within you. You just need to trust. Okay, so rose quartz in the center. Around our rose quartz, we've got some lapis. Lapis is a beautiful blue crystal, and it's beautiful for the throat chakra being blue in color as well. And so lapis is a really nice one to help us to communicate, to express ourselves. So again, if there's something that perhaps you'd like to say within a situation, say to someone, if there's a boundary perhaps you'd like to set with someone, lapis is going to be really beautiful, because it's going to help you really speak your truth, speak from your heart, with love, with truth. Okay, so really honor who you are and honor those boundaries. So again, something that you might like to carry around with you, or just place around the home. Lapis is beautiful worn on a necklace. I always wear a crystal necklace, and you can get beautiful necklaces where you can, you know, change what little tumblers you have in them. They can hold them, or you can get pendants, whatever you feel called to. But lapis is a beautiful one to wear around your neck, because it can sit sort of at your throat chakra. You can help us sit it a little higher, and so again, it can help you to express and just be with you when perhaps you may need that. Amethyst is our next one. Amethyst is beautiful at bringing in balance. So amethyst is beautiful at balancing all of our chakras, balancing our energy. Works particularly well with our third eye. The third eye sits just between our eyebrows, and our third eye is all about our intuition. Okay, so again, if that's something that you're wanting to do a little bit more work with, really trusting your intuition, allowing it to help guide you, having that faith and that courage to just really step into it and allow it to just be there for you. Allow yourself to just really, really trust that inner knowing, that inner guidance. Amethyst is a beautiful one to work with. It's beautiful if you're lying down, if you are meditating, or just lying in stillness, just to place an amethyst crystal on your third eye, so between your eyebrows, just on your forehead. It can feel really nice just placing it there. And sometimes if that energy is really high, you can almost feel like the crystal's vibrating a little bit. I often feel my third eye, and I'll often stroke it like I am now. Again, if you're watching YouTube, you can see me stroking my third eye now. I often stroke it, and I often feel it. I can feel it tingle when things are kind of going on in there. So again, the more you work with it, the more you're going to be able to trust it, the more you're going to be allowing it to guide you. So work with your third eye, work with intuition, work with amethyst if that's something that is resonating with you today. We have carnelian. Carnelian is a beautiful orange crystal, and it works beautifully with our sacral chakra. So our sacral chakra sits just below our belly button, and our sacral chakra is generally where we hold or push down a lot of our emotion. So if something's resonating with you this month around that emotion, around feeling those strong, intense, challenging emotions, those really heavy emotions, if they've been kind of weighing you down, you've been feeling really frustrated, you've been feeling quite angry, resentful, jealousy, all of those really big, heavy emotions that kind of sit around that digestive area, things like worry, anxiety, stress, all of those things, if you've been really feeling them, really feeling that in your digestive area, in your reproductive area, around your hips, your lower back, your belly, that sort of belt. Carnelian can be beautiful to work with to really help you in a gentle way, allow yourself to feel those emotions. So allow yourself to welcome them to the surface, to feel them, to acknowledge them, and then in turn to work through them to release them. Okay, and often I think it's really nice with emotions, like I often thank them. So I'm feeling really frustrated today. Okay, thank you for coming up. And I know it sounds weird, but talk to them, talk to your emotions. When you talk to them and you work through them, for me personally, and this works for some, again, find what works for you. I feel like it kind of makes them less scary. you can kind of work through it. Oh, cool, I'm feeling a bit frustrated because of X, Y, and Z. Or maybe that's just the way I'm feeling today. There's just something kind of sitting there. Perhaps you're not too sure where it's come from, but you're acknowledging it, you're making it less scary, and in turn you can help to release it. So find what works for you. But carnelian is a beautiful, beautiful crystal. If you are working with that sort of area and with those really intense emotions, then it can be a beautiful one to work with. Rainbow moonstone. We have to have moonstone. It's the full moon. Moonstone's always beautiful to work with around the moon. It really honors and harnesses the moon energy and what it represents that month. Okay, so moonstone's beautiful to, if you want to connect a little deeper to the moon. It's got beautiful feminine, gentle energy, helps us to balance, to ground, to center, and just to really work with all of the energy that's around. So if you're wanting to connect a little deeper to the moon, then perhaps rainbow moonstone, again, just using it in a way that feels intuitive to you, and maybe a beautiful one to have. I often wear a rainbow moonstone around my neck around the full moon. I haven't got it on today actually, but yeah, I often do wear that around the full moon just to help me through that intense energy if I'm really feeling it that month. Last but not least, smoky quartz. Smoky quartz to on the outer circle, sorry, of our crystal grid. So smoky quartz is a beautiful crystal to ground, to center, and to protect. So a really nice crystal to have on the outside of our grid today, to protect ourselves, to protect our energy, to protect our boundaries, to ground us, to center us in who we are, the things that we believe in. So smoky quartz, again, a really beautiful crystal. As with amethyst, amethyst is very protective as well. So if you are working with amethyst, you could work with it in this way too, to protect yourself. So if you are struggling with perhaps other people's energy, taking on other people's energy, other people's opinions, particularly around setting those boundaries, then smoky quartz can be a beautiful crystal to carry around with you, again, to wear as a necklace, have in your pocket, hold in your hand. It's really nice to have around the house as well, particularly where there may be tense energy. So sometimes I like to place smoky quartz by the front door or the back door, depending where, if people are coming into your home, and it helps just to absorb some of their energy, some of their unwanted energy perhaps, okay? And when they leave, if there's been energy left there, then it can help just to absorb that. So to protect your home and your own environment, to protect yourself from taking on others' energy, particularly when it's unwanted. And I think we all know when we around people that are uplifting, that are happy, that are joyful, it's contagious. We feel that too. When we're around people that are really negative and just bringing us down, and we can take that on too. Okay, so we can take on all energy, and particularly if you're an empath or someone that really feels that energy. I've had to do a lot of work. I am an empath, and just on protecting my energy, protecting myself, and particularly when I was first started teaching in yoga, there was so much release within the room, and I've always left feeling heavy. For me, when I've taken on people's energy, it's in my jaw. I can tell that I'm taking on something because my jaw is achy and heavy, and it just hurts. It feels really uncomfortable, and so I know that I've taken something on. I'm taking on energy. So I had to learn very quickly how to protect myself, how to run a class with so much love and openness, but to not take on what other people were releasing, to not take on their energy. So if this is something that resonates with you, if you take on people's energy very quickly, if you take on people's hurt, people's pain, people's challenges, if you're one of those people where people just come to you to offload, and then you're left just feeling really unsettled, really unbalanced, really heavy because you've just taken it all on, smoky quartz can be a beautiful crystal to work with. Amethyst can be a beautiful crystal to work with, to have around the home, to have on you, just to help. It's beautiful just to, as well, if you are taking on some energy, or if you're really helping people through a challenging time, or if you're in that situation where you find that you're really absorbing a lot of unwanted energy, at the end of it, I find it's really nice just to thank that person. I always do this at the end of my class. I thank the class, and I disconnect from them with love. So I thank you so much, but I now disconnect from you with love, and I can almost kind of throw that energy back. I like to flick my hands off. So almost kind of throw that energy back. It's always with love, it's always with light, but it's not for me to take on. It's been released up to the universe. It's not for me to carry. So again, just get to know yourself, honor yourself, see what resonates with you. If you feel called to work with crystals this month, they're beautiful to help guide you through the energy. Full moons are also a beautiful time to place your crystals out under the full moon. So if you do have a crystal collection at home, place your crystals under the full moon in a little bowl or on a table. Allow them to sit out overnight if you can, protect them if you need to, and just allow that beautiful moon energy to cleanse them, to cleanse and to release, and they'll be beautiful and fresh in the morning for you to work with whatever you need. So thank you so much. Happy last full moon of 2022. And I look forward to connecting with you all next year. Thank you so much.